Club Comedy. Give it up for Jack Slattery one more time, your host for the evening. Thanks so much for coming out. It's a pleasure to be here. If you're sitting there right now and you're thinking, hey, that guy looks kind of familiar, let me help you out. I had someone come up to me the other day. They said I looked like the Walmart version of Thor. And the best thing about that joke is the harder you laugh, the more it hurts. Someone else said that I look like Chris Pine if he was average. A little bit about myself. I come from a very large family. I've got 37 cousins, 17 aunts and uncles, 3 siblings. I was on the phone with my grandmother the other day, and I called her. She didn't answer. She called me back. I was at a party, and we talked for about 3 or 4 minutes, and she said, well, Ben, I'll let you get back to your party. And I said, okay, Grandma, thanks. This was nice. I'll call you tomorrow. We'll finish this up. And she goes, no. This was enough. I remember when I first started doing comedy about 3 years ago, I went home to Colorado. I was talking to my dad on a hike. I was like, Dad, I'm thinking of doing stand-up comedy. He goes, comedy? Wow, that's great. But you've never been funny. No, I do have a good relationship with my family. We all just rib each other. One of my older brother, he actually has autism, and I'm starting to feel like I missed out. He's a hydrogeological engineer, and I'm a waiter. My parents tell their friends when they ask what I'm up to, they go, oh, he's figuring it out. You know? No, my brother is so impressive. This kid cured his asthma by running ultra marathons. What? Here's why that's insane. Asthma is a chronic condition. That means it's incurable. Curing your asthma by running is like curing irritable bowel syndrome by repeatedly shitting your pants. It just doesn't make sense. I wasn't always a waiter. I did go to college. I have a degree in zoology. That's actually the joke. Yeah, I paid $100,000 for cool animal facts. Did you know that the blue whale is the largest animal that's ever existed on the planet? In fact, it's so large you can swim through its arteries. That cost me $5,000. I'm giving it away for free. Look at that. Look at that. Now, I did use my degree for a little bit after I graduated. I got a job at a cancer research laboratory. We tested the cancer on mice, and so it was not a fun job because when you give the mouse the human cancer, he's going to ask for some chemotherapy. And then it's all downhill from there. We had a standard on what to do when PETA tried to break in and raid the lab, and that standard was hide. The closest they ever got, I was walking into work one day, and they were protesting outside, and one of them threw a water balloon at me, and they were like, "You work at Mauschwitz. You're Mittler." I was like, "Yo, I'm just following orders." No, it was a super depressing job, so I quit, and now I'm a waiter, and I'm much happier. I moved here 3 years ago, and I moved here without a job, no money. In fact, I'm actually in a lot of credit card debt right now. Hilarious amount of credit card debt. So much that when I told my friend how much, his wife had a panic attack. It's $20,000. That's how you know it's bad. No, but it doesn't bother me. I don't know. You just kind of, it's there. You know, you just ignore it. You know, you pay off what you can, you move on. But people are terrified of credit card debt, dude. My buddy, he was like, "I'm more afraid of credit card debt than herpes." I was like, "Bro, you have herpes." One of the first jobs that I did when I moved here, actually, I drove for DoorDash, right? And I always delivered in Bellevue because they have more money and they tip better. No brainer. So I renamed the Washington Floating Bridge the Wage Gap. One thing that DoorDash taught me is that it is kind of your fault. It can be your fault if you're poor. Here's why. I delivered a lot to trailer parks. Now, if you don't see the problem with spending $10 for me to deliver you $15 of gourmet cookies, it might be your fault you're poor. I would deliver people movie theater popcorn. Yeah, I would go to the AMC, to their rack, and take people movie theater popcorn. And honestly, if you DoorDash movie theater popcorn, you deserve your student loans. Should not be forgiven. That's, come on. It's stale by the time it gets there. Why do you even want it? I come from a large family, like I said, so you can assume that they're religious and conservative. So moving here, it was a big shift, because America is not just one culture, and I firmly believe that. But I did my best to fit in here, and Seattle just kept giving me material. And here, well, to start, when I moved here, I feel like Seattle welcomed me with crossed arms. Say that, we'll start there. And I say that because 3 weeks after moving here, I got jumped. Yeah, walking home from work. It was not fun. My mom sent me pepper spray because she thought I needed to feel like more of a bitch. And on the pepper spray, it says, "Caution, may cause eye irritation." What? What do you mean, may? So I called the company. I was like, "Hey, you sent me with this one that it might work. You got one that will?" And she goes, "Oh, the reason that we can't say it will work is because there are some people who have a higher resistance to pepper spray." And I was like, "Who?" This is important. She goes, "People with a higher pain tolerance, people who are mentally ill, and people who are severely intoxicated." So I was like, "Oh, so who it's for?" What? That made me feel much worse about it. I've actually never had to use the pepper spray, thankfully. The closest I ever got, I was walking home from work with a friend, and we were getting followed by a guy. And I leaned over to my friend and I said, "Hey, don't worry, if anything goes wrong, I have pepper spray." And my friend goes, "You can't use that around me. I'm allergic to pepper spray." No fucking shit, dude. Were you serious? That's the point. But they were insistent. They said that I couldn't use the pepper spray even if we got attacked. And I was like, "All right, get ready to run." And I shit you not, the next words out of their mouth were, "I can't run, I have bad knees." I was like freaking out. I don't know what to do. But then like a little cartoon bubble popped up inside of my head, and it was my dad. And he goes, "Remember, son, you don't have to be quicker than the bear. You just can't be the slowest friend." So I ran. I got away. Scott wasn't even a challenge. And bad knees hurt. Another funny thing that I noticed when I moved here was there's a downtown at the Sheraton. Every Christmas they do a gingerbread city. It's really cool. I recommend you go see it. They get professional builders to build gingerbread houses, skyscrapers, villages. So I walked up to the person and said, "Hey, what's this gingerbread city for?" And she said, "Oh, this is a fundraiser for the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation." I was like, you built a sugar city for children who can't have sugar. That's like if I had a fundraiser at a rave for epileptic people. And I just called it Seize the Night. Just really drive it home. The last funny thing that happened was my friend has a sticker on their water bottle. It says indigiqueer, and I didn't know what that meant. It means they're indigenous and they're queer, right? And I didn't know what it was, so I asked them what Pokemon it was. And in my defense, go indigiqueer. It kind of works. Now, my friend had a very good sense of humor about it. We invented the Pokemon indigiqueer. And indigiqueer evolves into indigiqueen when they do drag. And their special skill is land acknowledgement. And it's never effective. Thank you very much. My name's been Ben Whittle. You've been a wonderful audience. Ben Whittle.